What's up, YouTube? FD White back with another episode of FD White Invest. Welcome to the channel, man. Welcome to the channel. So happy Friday, man. Today was an exciting day. I'm looking at the charts right now. We have Bitcoin going to 69K. We had Nvidia touching almost all-time highs. We had the Dow touching all-time highs. We had the S&P touching all-time highs. We have gold breaking out to all-time highs over 2,700 and some change. So the overall market, the overall asset market is looking pretty good right now. So if you've been watching my channel, and if you've been watching the Crypto Nightcap, and you've been taking the non-financial advice that we've been giving over the past few weeks, man, congratulations. We said that these things were going to happen. We called out a few calls when it comes to altcoins, and they've been coming true. They've been coming true, and a lot of these things are still playing out. They're still going to play out. So congratulations, but we still have a lot of work to do. Right now, let's actually go to my chart. Bitcoin is sitting at 68,388, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So we had a nice little rejection from that 69K area. But we're holding above that downward sloping trend line. So that's what I really want to see. I knew we were going to probably break out. We were starting to get momentum, but I want to hold this downward sloping, this macro downward sloping trend line that we've been looking at ever since the top of the market, ever since we've been making these lower highs. Bitcoin finally broke out, and now I want to hold that. So that's looking good, man. I do want to talk about what I see possibly happening leading up to the election. I keep saying the same thing. I think the overall market is going to continue to have strength going into the election. So we have next week, another week after that, maybe another week and a half of October going into the election. So maybe like 3 weeks out before the election. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But we know different outcomes will have different outcomes when it comes to the market. But overall, I do think we will have a good rest of the year going into maybe the first few months of Q1. So I'm trying to load up. I'm trying to keep a balanced view when it comes to these markets, and I'm not trying to get too much FOMO. I still want to break that all-time high for Bitcoin. Still want to come through and make sure these altcoins are staying stagnant while this Bitcoin dominance is going up, trying to get as much money allocated into a lot of these coins that I think will do well, that have performed well, that aren't moving as much right now as Bitcoin continues its rise higher. And then, like we always say, once Bitcoin cools off a little bit, Bitcoin dominance rolls over, then we can get some of these altcoins to run hard. So I do have some news, some breaking news. This happened a few hours ago. So the SEC has approved New York Stock Exchange options trading and contracts for the spot Bitcoin ETF. So what that means is, more degening, more liquidity into the system, basically. So a lot of people from the stock market who like to leverage stock market instruments, now they can leverage have all these options plays for Bitcoin. So that's just another reason, another way for us to go up and potentially go down as well. But it's just another way for people to trade Bitcoin. So it's just something else that is being adopted. Bitcoin is being adopted slow and steady. So just small things like this, it's not really that small, but things like this just add to the legitimacy. Now you can, like I said, have options on these, just like you can have options on all these other ETFs and all these other stocks. So Bitcoin is here. There's nothing else more that we can say. So we will continue looking at that. I did want to bring this chart up too, talking about banks. So this is one thing. This is some FUD. So I will say this, but we'll just have to see how it plays out, because I know the Fed, these banks, all these entities have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. But it's saying unrealized losses at U.S. banks are 7 times higher than during the 2008 financial crisis. So I'm not sure what that really means. I mean, it sounds bad. It sounds really bad, because we know how 2008 financial crisis, how that ended up. So 7 times higher, unrealized losses are 7 times higher. So I know in the background, Jerome Powell and his goonies are doing all type of things, all type of stuff that's not really making the mainstream, pumping liquidity into these markets. We know a lot of banks are insolvent. We know a lot of these companies are insolvent. We know it's some type of tricks being manipulated in the background. So this is just why Bitcoin. This is why we Bitcoin, because banks are insolvent. A lot of these banks are insolvent. A lot of these things that aren't coming to the light will eventually come to the light. And we saw what happened with the first time when the banking, I think it was 2023, March of 2023 or somewhere around there, when the bank started to go down and the bank started to have all these problems. We see how Bitcoin reacted. So if something like that does happen, if it hits the fan like we think is going to happen, we know money is just going to be pumped back into the economy. Money is going to be pumped back to save these entities, save these banks, and that money from thin air will just create more inflation and debasement of the dollar, and our bags will be pumped. You know, hopefully you're getting on the right side of this equation, and this is why I come make these videos every day. I try to make a video every day, reiterating the same things. Sometimes we zoom out, like we degen, we try to get in and get out, get in these plays, make a lot of money really quick. But for the long term, we know how this story ends. I know how this story ends, and hopefully you know how this story will end. And if you know how the story ends, you can prepare yourself for that ending. And that's what I'm doing. I can come here and talk about meme coins, talk about different coins that I think is going to go up in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. But I also am thinking about the next 5 to 10 years and where this economy, where this system, where this global monetary shenanigans will be. And, you know, it's kind of inevitable at this point. I don't see how they can fix it. I really don't. And then when I see things like this, banks, unrealized losses are 7 times higher than the worst financial crisis in history, 2008, then, you know, it's just another red flag of many when it comes to the economy, when it comes to the macro economy and what's going on behind closed doors. So we're peeling layers back. We're looking, we're trying to see what's going on, and we're trying to position ourselves long term too. So I'm looking at these and positioning myself accordingly. So like I said, man, Bitcoin, we may see, I said, once we break out of that downward sloping trend line, we may see all-time highs fairly quick. So hopefully we can maintain above this downward sloping trend line. Possibly over the weekend, we can see 72, 73K, 74, 75K. It's possible. Once crypto gets to moving, it gets to moving. It really gets to moving. So if you never waned, if your confidence in the market never waned, congratulations. We're not there yet. Let's not jump for joy and celebrate too early, but we're on the cusp. So congratulations, man. So if you want that information, that timely information, I keep it real too. Not a moon boy. I'm not a perma bear. I keep it real with you from my perspective of the markets, not just the crypto market, stock market, and anything else that I understand that I can bring to light and bring to the community and bring to, you know, my subscribers and anybody who watches the video, anybody who wants to, you know, open their ear to what I'm saying. So that's just the premise of my channel. And if that's something that you think you would like, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and we can continue forward. I'm very, very excited for what's to come, man. So I hope you are too. And let's just make tons of money. We still got to be in tune to the market. Still got to make sure we're doing our homework and due diligence, not getting too greedy. That's the key. So good luck to everybody. Section, and they're using momentum. Like a lot of times it's momentum. A lot of times you find a trade, especially if crypto, once crypto gets to moving, it's so easy to make money in trading.